All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Thought I would sit down and do a video for you guys and gals. Let me get a sip of my water here. I may not run this one very long. I thought I would at least cover this current event. Someone said, Jason, you should cover the Sam Sulek bodybuilding show. I'm not going to have a lot to say about it, but multiple people have asked me to cover it. I've been asked in every stream, so clearly everybody cares about it. They want my opinion on it. So I'm going to give my opinion, and then people can never ask me about it again. We're done. So now that you guys have seen it, you've seen that I've covered it. There's no need to bring it up in the next 17 live streams. So, hey guys, Sam Sulek, the YouTuber and Facebook personality, did his first bodybuilding show. He plays really well. Apparently he won. Apparently he's going on further. He got extremely lean, as you guys can see in the thumbnail. My personal opinions, he's too lean. I think current modern bodybuilding is disgustingly lean. I don't think human beings should drop to that low of body fat. I think it's extremely unhealthy. I think it's extremely unattractive for anyone to get that lean. It destroys aesthetics. That's my opinion. However, if you are going to compete, you have to compete to win. So when you compete in anything, you compete to win. And if that means that, you have to lose an arm or whatever it takes, if the rules say that you have to cut your own hand off, then you cut your own hand off to win. That's how it works, right? That's how competition works. He clearly got pretty dang lean, much leaner than we previously have seen him. Guy has a striated lower back, plays really well. Credit where credit is due. The dude did good. Like I said, but I don't know why people want me to always cover this. I'm not like a big fan of the current open bodybuilding. I kind of wish it would go back to maybe golden era, would be my personal opinion. But maybe that's just because I'm old. I've got a different viewpoint. That being said, I am glad though that he quit eating all the junk food so that he could cut all the chocolate milk out. That's one of my beasts. So with Sam, has been the ego lifting. And drinking chocolate milk and stuff on camera, and promoting eating junk food. Like anyone who claims to be health or fitness related shouldn't be promoting eating junk food, chocolate milk, stuff like that. Unacceptable, right? Unacceptable, not a fan of it. But he cut that out. Now, I've had a lot of people say, well, it looks like he cut his drug doses back. No, I don't think he did at all. He just quit eating the junk food, probably cut back the insulin, the DECA, the really wet stuff so that he could dry out and get shredded. Okay, he didn't lose any muscle. He lost extra water weight. And, it worked. It worked, right? It worked. He managed to come in, get super lean, and place the way that he placed. And I guess that's all I have to say about that. Hopefully he doesn't go back to drinking chocolate milk on camera and promoting people eating junk food. But, we'll see what happens. I've had a lot of people say, well, you've said before you're concerned he's probably going to die young. And, yeah, because the drug use is really extreme at that age and throwing the other junk food, and probably not wise. And that's the thing that comes up. People will mention me and I'm like, you've abused gear for yourself. Have I? Because I'm 48 and healthy. No, I'm going to say the evidence is I haven't abused copious amounts of gear for decades. Right? How many of my contemporaries who did that are dead? Right? How many of my contemporaries, the other guys who were coming up in YouTube back when I started, are now dead who did that? They've been dead for years. Still in pretty good health, pretty fit, moving big numbers, did rep work with 555 on a deadlift today, did my cardio on camera today. So come on, guys. Let's be realistic here. I don't think people know what that word abuse means, and they throw that around lightly. They throw that word around way too lightly. Whereas in guys like Sam, clearly abused pretty hard at a young age. He blew up really, really, really fast as someone who'd already been lifting a couple of years. And I don't think it's going to be good for his health in the long term. Now, that being said, is he making a ton of money? He's probably made millions of dollars already. You look at the size of his social media outreach over the last couple of years, I promise you he's already made a couple $1 million. The kid's done well for himself. So hopefully he invests that money wisely and does other stuff with it and takes care of his health. That's what I would hope that he does. But it looks like he's going to get further caught up in the bodybuilding game. And that is what it is. And it's unfortunate when they especially if they're going to talk about open bodybuilding. I think he's doing like classic though. Yeah. But I mean, that sums the situation up. But like I said, even though I'm not necessarily a fan, the guy won. He won. And he's going up the next level of competition. So I would call that a successful first show. I'm gonna call that a first successful competition, any type of competition or sport or beauty pageant or anything, right? Or performing art. He took first place. That's as good as it gets. Winning your first competitive event is best case scenario. It's as good as it gets. And I'm sure he'll go on to do other things successfully in bodybuilding, and I'm sure his social media outreach will continue to grow, and he'll make lots of money. I just hope that he knows when to quit and to take that money and do other stuff. Let's not be like Cali Muscle and be over here dying, or like Rich Piana, who's already dead, right? So I hope he's smarter than some of them, and I hope that he's got a good head on his shoulders. He doesn't strike me as a bad person in any way, right? He doesn't strike me as a bad dude at all. I don't think there's anything really negative to say about his personality or him as a person. I don't think we can say that, at least to my knowledge. Nothing that I'm aware of. All right, so a bunch of you were watching. Got rid of a couple little trolls that we're not even going to acknowledge. Anybody got any questions, comments, things they want to chime in with? And if not, here we go. I'm going to link my Facebook page. If you guys will please follow me there. Give me a follow. Give me a like on all my stuff. I would greatly appreciate it. Bodybuilders look gross. Why would G-dudes even like that? Yeah, I mean, modern bodybuilding with the leanness they get, it doesn't look good. But I mean, they're trying to display their muscularity. But no, I mean, it's definitely lost what it used to have, the aesthetics. People say, well, what about the classic? Because it doesn't look like it. Like current classic bodybuilding doesn't look like golden era or classic bodybuilding. They're way too shredded. Body fat's too low. They're too dehydrated. It doesn't look like old school bodybuilding. So I don't know why they call it classic. Why don't they just call it bodybuilding slightly smaller? Bodybuilding with less insulin. That would be a better term. It's certainly not attractive. But, it's what they choose to do, tactics. It's just people have chosen to be part of this competitive endeavor, and that's what they want to do. And supplement companies and stuff have propped it up. They've propped it up. And that's the thing is that interesting is like they try to portray that that's what people want to see. They want you to be that shredded, and it's just not. Most people don't find it attractive. Women don't necessarily find it attractive. Other dudes who are into that don't always find it attractive. Prondo says, hate when I lose my veins after going off Primo. It restricts me to thinking I'm hella lean. Well, I still got veins on no Primo. I'm literally just doing TRT, like legit 125 test. Because again, I'm trying to make sure my health markers are on point. I had a pretty good deadlift session today with that. Yeah, you're still holding for now. It should be there. They'll continue to hold. Coach, you have new respect and admiration for Sam Sulek? No, not really. Because I'm not really a fan of the whole hardcore bodybuilding scene. So he's just another person to me, He's just a person with a big social media outreach. And I don't necessarily dislike or like that. It's like he's just another guy. Happens to have a big outreach, So I don't actually have so how do I put this? Do I respect the business? This guy's successfully grown a successful business? Yeah, that. But not necessarily the bodybuilding stuff, right? You got to respect the weight cut. You've done it before yourself. Yeah, it takes a toll. Keep in mind, a lot of it, though, is simply cutting out the chocolate milk, probably cutting out the nandrolone, and taking the insulin and stuff down. All right. Keep in mind, he's got so much muscle that getting lean for him isn't going to be that hard, to be fair. Like, it's just going to be a matter of upping protein, cutting all the junk food out, adding some extra cardio. A guy with that much muscle who's had to force that much junk food, all that chocolate milk, dude, he's going to cut easier than you think. And it's because his energy needs relative to what he's used to eating is going to be so ridiculous. It's just the nature of the beast. Keep in mind the garbage that he was eating in order to get to that body weight, and still wasn't fat. Okay, so this is kind of someone who's probably a bit of an undereater, that he had to force all that junk, because chocolate milk is horrific. I mean, what bodybuilder do you admire most? Probably Arnold, because I liked his movies when I was a kid. That's it. That's amazing how bones become stronger and thicker during weight training. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Bone density improves, and we know that lifting weights staves off osteoporosis and stuff. Oh, that makes sense. He did eat a dumpster diet, and that's the point, Prondo. So he had to eat a trash dumpster diet to get to that body weight. Once they're at that level, he just got to cut the junk out, throw a little cardio in, add some extra protein. And maybe he used some fat burners. He probably did, which is going to put him right coasting along. You ever been in a serious car accident? I'm trying to think. How serious is serious? I mean, I've been in some car accidents. You know, I don't know what we call this now. Let's get rid of you. So, but yeah, strawberry, that's pretty much one of the big perks of weightlifting. It increases bone density. And it's just about adaptative stress, right? It's adaptative stress because the heavy lifting puts little micro cracks through our bones. Our body then fills them in with calcium and magnesium, increases bone density. It's an interesting thing. Too bad we can't change bone size and shape. Do we really need to? Like, there's a point where if we could, people would do weird, ridiculous stuff to themselves. I mean, technically you can. It's called surgery. Jeffrey, I've already told you guys for days, I'm getting rid of any crazy stalker stuff. I'm allowing playful trolls to stay who are friendly, but I ran the numbers. It didn't help my money. It didn't help my algorithm even one bit to allow them in here. And they became nothing but a distraction against people who wanted to have actual real conversations, right? See these other people, they're in here having real conversations. And it puts those people off when you allow it. So I'm just getting rid of it. I've ran the different things, seeing how the experiment ran, how the numbers went. It didn't help me at all to allow that. It just created an annoyance for people who actually are fans, right? No one wants to see all that nonsense. Just like the guy I banned at the start typing out a racial stuff. Come on, nobody wants to see that, guys. Let's stay on topics, and I'll cover current events. Current events are good. I'll keep doing the natty or nots, and we'll keep going in on natural hypertrophy. But yeah, any sort of crazy stalker stuff for my little inner ring of stalkers. Notice I didn't say trolls. Trolls are funny. Stalkers are not. Stalker stuff is going to go. It's just gone automatically. Right? I agree. You want to increase. Well, Joffrey, see, now you're turning into one of them too. Telling me how to run my business makes you clearly one of the stalkers. You're not. Let's get out of here. All right, Loner Max. Glibba, when it's certain key points that my inner circle of stalkers harp on and discuss in private conversations, yeah, it's stalking. So, makes sense? So, in other words, if my stalkers are secretly using a code word of fleet-flopping in here and someone says fleet-flopping while giving constructive stuff, I know they're one of my stalkers. You just get rid of them. See how easy that is? Going for my next meet training is doing good. Did 500 times 4 squat, 355 for 4 pause bench, 554 for 3 the last 2 weeks. I'm going for 585 double the second. My goal is 1500 total natty. Sounds like you were on track, man. It sounds like you're on track of mass potential. So let's run your numbers real quick. So I'll run your numbers real fast. Let's get you estimated. How many weeks out are you? So you figure 500 times 4 on a squat, you probably got 550 in the tank. Let's assume you can probably bench 370 off that. What do you need on the deadlift? So if you can get 545 times 3, man, jumping from that to 585 times 2 is a big jump. Was that 3 rep heavy? Okay, because that's the question. If that 545 for 3 felt heavy and you didn't have some reps in the tank, 585 for a double is going to be real hard. But let's call you 585. Hey, you got 1,500, dude. I think you got it in the bag. No, Yoba, can you see your own comment? But I'll watch to see what you say. Okay. Unmasked potential videos, epic squat fail. Let's check your videos real quick. What you got for your shorts, homie? I'm gonna watch your deadlift real quick, dude. All right, I'm gonna watch this guy's deadlift. 5 for triple. That second rep was real clean. Yeah, dude, that wasn't a 3 rep max. No, you have more in the tank. Yeah. Yeah, you have at least a 585 for a single now. I don't know about the double for sure yet. You'll get there and find out. I guarantee you're going to get at least for 1 rep though. Sorry, I'm late, coach. I was strapped up. TY strapping up for those curls like strap on destiny, tearing biceps. See, and here's an example. Like this shadow guy, this is a troll, but he's not a stalker. He might be, but he's not acting like one. He's pretty straightforward. Criticizing my actual work. Yeah, you're not here to tell me how to do my job. No. You can ask questions. See, but you see where you're leading with your question? I already know that you're going to type some crazy stuff like justice for no vote or something already. Like it's already glaringly obvious. You see how that works? All right. Like you guys don't really fool me anymore. Shadow the Hedgehog, you should eat chili cheese dogs, chili cheese hot dogs. Yeah, I mean, you guys, you're just not slick. Chris, you're just not. All right. But I'll wait till you do something. I'll go ahead and let you shoot your shot. What's up, Mehdi? How you doing, man? Did you upload your training footage yet, Mehdi? What are you asking me about Hadi Chuban? Is he a pro bodybuilder? Did he place well at the Olympia? My opinion is he is a professional bodybuilder who has placed extremely well at the Mr. Olympia. That's my whole opinion. Do you have much caffeine? No, I do it all in the morning. I drink a lot of caffeine, whatever's in a whole pot of coffee. I usually cut it off by 10 o'clock, and I don't have any caffeine after that. But I also do all my coffee fasted. Chris, it keeps the flow of the live good. It gets rid of all the nonsense so that the live can stay on topic. Now, you just outed yourself as one of them because you don't want to talk about real topics. You want to talk about trolls. So you just outed yourself as one, and let's get over to real topics. It's very simple, dude. All right, next. Why is Mike Israetel considered an expert when he can't win an amateur show? That's a good question. That's a good question. He can't win an amateur show in spite of all the gear, all the insulin, all the knowledge. So I don't know. It's an interesting point. Because of his credentials, his bona fides, right? His bona fides. The problem is that a lot of the other experts with advanced degrees disagree with his opinions. They disagree with a lot of what he says, which creates the real problem, doesn't it? And I agree, you don't have to be an IFBB pro to be a great coach, but that's not the point he's making. He's talking about the fact that from a bodybuilding perspective, it's been pointed out by other experts, his dieting methods are bad, they're outdated. His water cutting protocols are bad, they're outdated from a competitive bodybuilding perspective. And it's not that Mike used to put out really good information. What's happened with Mike in more recent years, right? What's happened in more recent years is he sold out to sell his app and his advanced silly programming instead of sticking to the true basics and stuff that he knows really works. That's a lot of the criticism, and that makes it problematic, right? That makes it problematic. Like he probably knows better than a lot of what he's saying with his own level of education and knowledge, and that again, that creates an issue, doesn't it? Creates an issue. Well, his whole Renaissance periodization and his whole stuff that he sells, right? He's not even necessarily selling coaching with all of it. He's selling apps for everything, for programming, right? And he's making a lot of money at it. My understanding, it's been pretty lucrative. Right? So that's what's going on there. But that's been pointed out by other critics of his who are experts themselves. I've seen Dr. Mike, I've seen Greg Doucette. So I've seen Lyle McDonald and Greg Doucette really hit on that a lot. Right? They pointed that out, that there's problems with that. And I mean, I tend to agree with them. And again, it comes down to, what he's doing as a money grab. Yeah, I mean, he's made a lot of money at it, guys. But if he were to be more forthright with what he knows is correct programming, would he be able to sell that app to that degree? No, I don't need to try. Why do I need to personally try it? I know how different periodization models work. And I look at a lot of the info he's putting out on it, and I know there's a lot of nonsense, especially with the way overreaching on excessive volume and the deloading. Come on. That's not even supported either in the real world. Like plenty of people will come the best in the world ignoring stuff like that. And the research and data hasn't even shown it to be beneficial. So you got to ask the question, where is he getting it from? Or is it just created convoluted periodization for marketing purposes? Right? So it doesn't mean that I think Mike is dumb. I think that he has a very smart marketing approach, but it's not necessarily going to help people get gains to promote those. Does that make sense? And particularly hypertrophy training. It's not like we're going for elite lifts here. Hypertrophy isn't as complicated as some would like to make it out to be. You and might get to the same barber. Yeah, I just shaved my head, dude. Trim off what I have left, right? What show did he win? I didn't forget the name of it, TJ. I saw it all through my feed. I took a look at a couple of the pictures, saw some other people's opinions. I don't have a current death prediction. He might not make it to 35, though. You're right, Mark is a marketing genius in the sense he uses science to bait the novices into buying his crap. And that's exactly what it is. All right, so I want to be clear. I'm not saying Mike is dumb. Let's get that straight. I'm not saying Mike doesn't know what he's doing. I'm saying this is clever marketing. Doesn't mean that the info being centered around that marketing is legit. Okay. And therein lay the problem when there's money involved. Right. Sam doesn't have the shredded glutes or the T-Rex legs yet. Yeah. I didn't look that close, though. He had the lower back, which is close enough. He had the whole Christmas tree going. That's pretty lean. Once you can see the erectors in the lower back, there's not much fat left anywhere. All right. Jason, have you warmed up to Sam Salute now? No, not really. I remember a year or two ago you were saying he was going to die before he could achieve. I don't know that opinion's changed. He's not going to be on the Olympia lineup. If he does, he won't make it long. No, I still think he's going to die young. The gear use is excessive. Then he did all that junk food diet, all the insulin around all of it. He's creating a health problem. Do you believe that Juji Mufu is natural? Nobody believes Juji Mufu is natural. I mean, do you remember his original stage name, Acrobolics? Before he was Juji Mufu? No, Juji's not even remotely natural. Juji uses big old 55-gallon drums of gear. No, I don't think I've ever heard someone say Sulek's name. Is it Sulek? The Slav in me wants to call it Saluk. If I can't do the barbell squat at the gym, you recommend Bulgarian split squats with dumbbell or leg press? How do you guys want me to say it? Sulek? Why can't I be like Samuel Saluk? If you're natty at Jesus, you're Jack. What? I wrote it out. Hey, goodbye. So here's the point I raised earlier. What did I say at the start of the video? Everyone's like, Blaha, you blast a ton of gear, you abuse gear. I'm 48 and I'm still pretty healthy. You sure that I've abused gear? Let me state that again. I'm 48 and appear to be in pretty good health, pretty fit, pretty strong. Are you sure that I've abused tons of gear? Whole lot of my contemporaries who we know what they used are dead. Jerry Ward ran 2 grams a week of gear. I had screenshots of our conversation plus growth hormone IGF-1. Okay, he's dead. Rich Piana, 4.5 grams plus insulin. He's dead. Cali Muscle already had that first heart attack. Major health issues. Almost dead. So, Gilba, do you understand dose-dependent discussion? And I do mean that quite seriously. Oh, Chance, there's no need to go there. You know, there's a difference between that and very modest amounts. And like right now, I'm running for at least 6 months. I'm just doing TRT, like 125 tests, prescription, nothing else. That's it. Nice, solid, healthy replacement dose. You guys see me squatting 500 pounds on it, doing rep work with 550 on the deadlift, repping 315 on the bench, 48. So again, Chance, I'm actually not. But right now, I'm literally just a replacement dose. No, plenty of guys that's not young at all for TRT. Almost every guy I know in their 40s. Out of all the guys I know personally, I know 2 men in their 40s who are not on testosterone. I know exactly 2. Mainlining trend. So, well, how is his name pronounced? That's just how I read it when I see it, dude. So, if you're going to be like, yes, what's happening, I'm just going to get rid of you. Right? It's pretty straightforward. All right. You're just going to go to insults. No, I don't think I've ever heard anybody actually say his name now that I think about it. No. Better coach than a reader reading Sulek. I just can't say it. It just doesn't sound right. Reading. Better coach the reader reading Sulek. No, I'm just going to call him Suluk. Jason, do you post pictures of other meals because usually my breakfast is sometimes my only real meal. I just snack. So generally, the rest of the day, it's just stuff like milk, or I sit around eating cheese and vegetables. Like, I don't know if you guys want to see a plate full of diced up peppers and cheese that I'm snacking on, like just as like finger foods. Let's see. You don't like my food, Gliba? Do you think Sulek used a good routine? I was going to call him Sulek because it seems to upset people. Probably, I guess he did. Did your father have similar genetics? I'm going to assume everyone's father has similar genetics to them. Oh, step back and TJ, step back and ask the question that you just asked. I don't know, TJ, did your father have similar genetics to you? I'm going to say you probably get about 50% of your genes from your father. I'm going to go with yes, unless, your mom cheated with the milkman, I suppose. What's the earliest age as soon as you come back with low testosterone? So you guys want me to call him, it's pronounced Sue as in the woman's name and then like Sulek. I'm going to call him Sulek. This Sulek, it's a strong Slavic name. You think because my dad had big calves. I got my calves from my mom's side of the family, actually. I have the same calves as my grandpa. My cousin had the same calves too. Can we get some guitar playing? No, I've got some Layla up on Facebook though, if you check, and on Instagram. So go to my Insta here. Instead of me playing, I'll just give you a quick Instagram, man. You can watch me playing a little bit of Clapton. All right, hold on. I'll get you some of that, and then you can check it out. Because I don't feel like getting up and grabbing the guitar at the moment. So I'll just get you the last thing I uploaded. And that way you've actually got an amp and everything going. Right. It's possible to reach 280 strict press naturally, but probably not. Unlikely, Medi. What's the difference between cheese and butter? One of them has protein in it, and one of them is refined garbage. One of them has calcium in it, and the other is refined garbage. One of them has magnesium in it, and the other is refined garbage. It doesn't have B12, magnesium, calcium, or protein in it. Even when you're being nice, the hate peeps through though. What do you mean the hate, dude? I want to call him Sue. What's wrong with that? Just like misgendering. Are you serious? Do you really care about misgendering someone? Jason, you should learn as well. No, estrogen's in the normal range. Gliba, have you not seen the Okay. Hey, Gliba, I want you to read what you just wrote. You literally just contradicted yourself. Butter isn't really refined. It's just fat from cream. Okay, the cream is already refined. You've already lost 95% of the nutrients in the milk. All right, let's start there. You just whip it until it becomes solid. So you put it through a mechanical churning process that changes the molecular nature of it and turns a liquid into a solid. So let me read the contradiction you just wrote. It really isn't refined. Okay. It does. Okay. That's it. You're going to tell lies. Then you go away. It changes the molecular structure of it. That's why it changes to a solid at room temperature. Okay. Cheese is one thing. I didn't ask you to give up cheese. I think cheese is just pretty fine, pretty reasonable. Butter is what I've got the issue with. Butter is a refined junk food. And chemically, we can look at it and tell it is. Nutritionally, you can. And when you look at the research of what it does in the human body, there's an enormous difference. Milk and cheese do not have the same effect on your blood work that butter does. Coach, I think it's safe to say that any food, no, that's simply not true. It's again, Chance, I'm not going to argue with you. Step back and listen to what I just said. All right, any big difference between cream and butter in terms of calories? No, you still lost all the benefits of the milk, though. Once you go to the cream, you lost all the protein. You lost all the good stuff. You lost the good stuff the second you separate the cream from the milk. And I'm not saying it doesn't taste good. I'm not saying it doesn't taste good. Okay, Chance. So go look at the clinical trials. So Chance, when people drink some olive oil in studies, does their blood work go really bad as a result? No. When they add butter, does it go? It goes horrifically bad. So what are you trying to argue? I mean, you've got clinical trials in humans that show when X amount of milk is added, it has no negative effects on the blood work, right? When the same amount of fat is added from butter to a person's diet, it causes measurable negative changes in their blood work. One compares side by side. So what counter argument do you have against that? Butter is a refined food that has lost 95% of its nutritional value and has gone through a process that in such a way that when it's studied, it has a negative effect on people's blood work. Right? So what more do you want? All right. Will eating white bread negatively affect my T levels? No. I don't know why you would think white bread would do that. Is Fage the best tasting yogurt? It's pretty good. Well, Chance, I'd be funny, when I get topics I feel like being funny about. I'll do some more of the call outs for other people coming up, some natural hypertrophy, some strap on. We will jump into calorie muscle later. Yeah, if flexible dieting has been out a long time, if it fits your macros, is not that great. The high protein milk like Utopia and Fairlife that mechanically separate, right? And in this case, we haven't lost nutritional value and they don't have a negative effect on blood work. So Ruben, our point is not that all processing is bad. That's why I'm laughing when people say it's not processed, but it is processed. So then we look at any food, right? You look at any food and you want to look at the data and see, well, let's see, does this processing cause problems in people's blood work? Let's look at studies. What happens when people eat it? Because not every food that's refined is automatically bad. Hopefully we all acknowledge this. But to say that it's not refined is a lie, right? Of course, Utopia is refined, and of course, butter is refined. Are we in denial of this? And when people deny the latter, instead of realizing butter, even if butter was found in nature, the effect on the blood work would still make it garbage. Even if butter rained from the heavens as a gift from God, the effect it has on your blood work is still problematic. But we come over to the case of the Utopia and the Fairlife, the really good stuff that we want in milk is highly concentrated in them. It's been removed from the butter, right? Have I ever participated in a French menage a trois? Like with two French women? No. Do you really think Callie Muscle is no longer able to have muscle mass? I feel like he genuinely believes in him being muscular. I give him. Who knows? All right, who knows? Do you want me to say it like natural hypertrophy? I had the menage a trois with strap on and my waifu, the one who I pretend I'm married to. She is a cartoon character. When did he invite me? He didn't send me anything. Do you think there's any chance that Benjamin McIntyre, I don't know who she is Natty? As far as I know, he claims Natty had never mentioned using anything. I don't know who's that. He invited me to participate in a menage a trois, what with him and his waifu. Do you think NH is a good guy? He's not actually French though, guys. I think he's Algerian. Would you say you feel better closer to your 50s than when you were in your 30s? Physically, you're in better shape. I do feel better, but due to a whole lot of things, right? But I'm also not as physically sick as I was either in my 30s. I've rebuilt my health. But there are things that don't feel as good. Like I feel a certain wear and fatigue that I didn't have when I was younger. I can definitely say at 48. I feel my training different, like in the sense of not pain. So it's not like I get DOMS. Like today was a heavy deadlift day or a heavy squat day. When I go to lay down in bed at night, I know that I did a heavy squat or deadlift. Like there's no doubt in my mind. It's just a different type of fatigue that I feel afterwards. Does that make sense? And I didn't have that 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's different. It's like there's a point then where you kind of have to go, man, I got to really manage my fatigue. I've got to get a good night's sleep. If I don't sleep 9 hours tonight, it's not going to be good after doing reps with, with the 555 on the deadlift, or after I do a 500 box squat or back squat. I have to get that sleep. I have to get that sleep. Like, and I can tell when I go to lay down at night. And if I try to hang out and do stuff or do social stuff, it's like I'm feeling it, in the evening time. I don't have that same energy, and that I definitely have noticed, if that makes sense. But overall, I do feel better. But it's that, and same thing, I need occasional naps and stuff now. I'm like, man, feeling like grandpa here. I got to take a nap sometimes, veins popping today. Yep, veins are coming out pretty decent today. It's not as cold. Temperature matters. So as the heat starts coming back, I'm going to be veiny everywhere, right? I'm going to be super veiny once it warms back up. No, I haven't been pursued or chased. No. I mean, the neighbors comment, and that's all funny, but no. I mean, everyone pretty much knows me, dude. It's not like there's strangers roving. Like, again, the type of neighborhood, if strangers are roving around, they get noticed. The homeowners association, people be checking them out. Who is this people? Who's your next natty or not video going to be on? I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I have a whole list. We got a list, homie. We got a list. We're going to go down. Let's take my time with them. I'm not interested in riding a bike. My balance could be a problem on a bike. I don't know. I haven't tried. Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm in suburbs, dude. I'm in suburbs in Texas. I mean, people kind of know what's going on with people's stuff. Hell, I'm a nosy neighbor. What are you talking about? I'm one of them. People gossip about me. I hear about it. I gossip about people. Right? I know which neighbors don't like each other. I know which ones to get along with. I kind of am friendly with all the different ones now, but I kind of am friendly on both sides of some of the feuds. Say hello, be polite. Do neighbors? Yeah, they act very different. But the UK is a big country. I mean, I can only speak to the area I lived in. No, people, dude, in this economy, man, nobody's got that type of money to be egging people's houses. You seen the price of eggs right now? Bro, might as well just be throwing diamonds. Just start throwing $100 bills at their house, Well, they used to be a thing as a kid, but then we had that whole toilet paper shortage, right? I mean, as kids, that stuff happened, but I've never seen that happen as an adult. I don't think that's a thing anymore. Did we do it as kids? Yes, we did. We toilet papered and egged people's houses when I was a kid. We did it. I've been part of it. I haven't seen it done any time that I remember in my adult life by anybody, though. At least that I can recall. When I was in the UK, you don't actually really know your neighbors. It's kind of weird. Ruben, you're asking me to remember the why. I have no idea. No, I think we did it even to our friends. Like, let's go egg and we go toilet paper so and so's house. Be like 7 of us. All right, do some protein cooking demos for us fans. Not really. I don't want to do any cooking demos for you, honestly. So you put chicken on your baking trays, you turn the oven on and you put it in and you come back in an hour. There you go. Pretty straightforward. No, I don't want to do any cooking stuff for you guys right now. I'm just not interested. Depends on what I'm doing. Ruben, if I'm cooking for others, yeah, I obviously spice it up. I dislike the mold on everything. The UK is like the most moldy place I have ever seen in my entire life. Like lack of ventilation, just mold growing on stuff if you're not careful. The lack of central air, central heat in all the places that I saw or lived in and everyone I knew lived in. It's like ridiculous. It's like you're living in the 1920s or something. So I would describe the UK as living in 1920, but with internet. All right. It's like there's internet and smartphones, but you're living in 1920. With modern electronics, it's really that's how I would describe it. Almost like cyberpunk. I don't know. It's like a dystopia. I don't. I'm not going to go through my whole internet bill that you do. Jesus. I obviously have high speed internet. I buy whatever the fastest internet is wherever I happen to live. That's it. That's my rule. Whatever that costs is what it costs. I technically make my living online, so yes, it's obviously, but it's not a big tax deduction, dude. It's not huge amounts of money. But yeah, obviously those things are tax deductions. Anything related to any of my social media is a tax deduction. Still not enough. I'm in favor of abolishing the IRS completely, by the way. Yep. Yep. Yeah, the average American knows the IRS a boatload. Yep. What's your favorite fruit? Do I have to pick a favorite? Oh man, that's tough. Can I pick 3 and we call it a tie? Cherries, cantaloupe, watermelon. My top 3. Pancake guy says, "Hey Jason, sorry I'm late." Hey man, better late than never. I dread doing my taxes. Don't want to see, bro. I cry every year, and I don't mean that figuratively. I mean I have done my taxes some years and I burst into tears, like actually really cry like a little bitch, like straight up. Especially when it's more than I thought. Like it's like when I had a year where I thought I was going to X amount of taxes. I did all my deductions, all the bookkeeping, and I hit that number, and it was $4,000 more than I thought I was going to owe. I started crying, like straight up, dude. I literally cried like a little baby. I can admit it because I did my numbers, and then it was 4 grand more, and I had to press the button all at once right out of my savings account. I started crying. Like seriously, it was bad. Um, no, I can't do my food as a write-off sirloin, at least not yet. I don't risk that. That's risking an audit at that point. Um, Dude, no, I've tried Texas. There's only so much you can do. I've never heard of this person. Brisket, biscuit, whatever, buttermilk biscuit. Um, Not always pancake. And who says I don't ever use an accountant? So, all right. But the thing is, it's you trying to avoid excessive deductions. Again, if we just got rid of the IRS, this would all go away. I don't know, flat 10% sales tax. No, I would never go back to college. I have no desire. I don't want to ever take another college class the rest of my life. Buttermilk. I am literally not interested in girls college age. I'm just not. And don't get me wrong, I am at a point in my life where pursuing a relationship with them would be absurd. That's just no. And it's not like they're going to go for me anyway, so who cares? That's ludicrous, dude. Talking to almost 50-year-old dudes about why don't you go back to college so you could get them shoulders? Like, come on, dude. It's more like babysitting than dating. Yeah. I mean, seriously. I mean, what are you going to talk? When you were my age, there's nothing you're going to really have a real conversation with a girl who's 25. So you're just not. You have nothing in common. All right. So come on. Country needs to make money out of its citizens. All right. To be a sugar daddy, you have to have millions of dollars. Yeah, buttermilk. Can we go over to a serious topic? Have you ever considered? No, I'm not interested in doing the GLP. I've lost over 100 pounds before without using anything to help. You're also dealing with the muscle loss and everything else. To me, it's not worth it. Not like I can't get them; they're easily available. Like I know people who straight up supply them too. I haven't even looked at Allen these days. I have no idea. Thoughts on? I don't listen to anything the red pill says. Stop listening to these red pill guys. All right, Pancake. Do you want a one-way ticket to never getting pussy? Go listen to these red pill dudes in the manosphere. That is a good way to limit the amount of pussy you get for a long time. So go listen to those clowns. Okay? Bit of friendly advice. Will it not be a simp? Just don't go giving your money to e-girls. There you go, problem solved. GLP, I don't know. I'd have to see what people are selling it for. A lot of it's available on the black market, though, at this point. I know the legal is expensive. I don't think it's that much, though. Just peptides, really. No, I wouldn't buy a Rover. Buttermilk, I'm about to get rid of you. This level of nonsense. Come on, dude. Like, what? You mean less stress? You don't like women? See, here's the difference, Biscuit. I actually enjoy the company of women. All right. I have more women friends than I do dude friends. I actually enjoy the company of women. So I'm not saying relationships don't have stress, but hey, Pancake, I don't know. Maybe because you listen to red pill stuff and it's limiting your access because of your mindset from that nonsense. My understanding was GLP-1 aren't inherently muscle wasting or often take. Is there a way to tell my steps become junk volume? That's a bit of a nuanced topic. I'm going to definitely say when performance degrades significantly to where you are losing potentially the last 5 reps. So in other words, if what would normally be your 12 rep max fresh, if it's dropping under about 8 reps, that same weight, you're probably in junk volume at that point. And that's probably not a bad assessment. Do you take note? I'll take turmeric. Can men and women have pure platonic relationships? That's a Nancy one. Do I have friends who I've been friends with for many, many, many years who I've never had sex with who are women? Yes. Has there occasionally been some attractions? There were other things where there were reasons we didn't do anything. Yes, also. I think it can be there occasionally will be some overlap on occasion, but it is possible to have pure platonic relationships. Keep in mind though, when you get older, a lot of your circles of friends become your dating pool when different people are single and divorced. So Ruben, you're thinking in terms of 20, or are you talking in your 40s? Because that's important to your question. When you start getting into your mid to late 30s, you get into your 40s, some of your lifelong circles of friends become your dating pool when you're both divorced or both single. Does that make sense? So those same circles of friends you've known a long time who were strictly platonic end up becoming girls you date or girls you get in relationships with or friends with benefits. These things happen. And then one of you, or up until maybe one of you gets involved with someone else again. So there's a completely different dynamic as you get older, right? It's less common, I'd say, to be purely platonic in your 20s, but keeping in mind, as you get older, those things change. Makes sense? And in fact, even your circle of friends or how you meet other girls, and it's just, yeah, right? It's just the nature of it. And there's people who you maybe were never involved with. You were strictly platonic and they were married, and a friend, they get a divorce, all of a sudden you bang them a few times, and then maybe it goes back to platonic later. Pancake, my circle of friends doesn't have any girl. What? That's weird. See, to me, that's completely weird. Right. Sirloin, I'm in Central Texas too. The temp is dropping, freezing until Sunday. What cardio we do? Man, you have to do something indoors if you really want to do it. I just skip it. Right? Pretty straightforward. All right, guys, we're at the hour. It's time to wind it down. Wait, Ruben, so when X happens, no, you can totally go back to platonic. Yeah, absolutely. No, it doesn't change forever. No, straight up, dude. There's girls I've had stuff with who later we bump into them. Their relationships, you give them a hug, everything's cool. It goes strictly back to platonic. Especially if it's been 7, 8, 10, 15 years, No. You can have platonic friendships with ex-girlfriends years later, especially if they're still in your circles of friends. Right? All right. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wind it down. I hope it's been informative. I love all of you guys and gals. If you guys a forearm shot, Mount Bicephalus. Oh, Mount Bicephalus. And I'll talk to you next time.